Hey, what's up, guys? Here's my video that I promised you about how to breed Pokemon. So in this video, I'm actually going to breed Machop into hopefully a perfect Machop or a near perfect Machop. We'll see what happens. But alright, so if you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see that I have actually set like stars to indicate the stats of the Pokemon. It's actually in the same order that the stats are. So this one has a circle and a triangle, for example. Circle and triangle are the first two. First two stats are HP and attack. So that one has perfect HP and attack. And the rest of the stars correspond to the stats in that order as well. So the order is HP, attack, defense, special attack, special defense, and speed. Those are your 6 stats, and there just so happen to be 6 shapes. So I use those to indicate the stats. So the first one had attack, defense, and speed perfect, and the other one had something else, I'm not too sure. Doesn't really matter. What you do is you find two Pokemon with decent stats, the best you can find, and then you start breeding them. I found those two in the Friend Safari, so they had pretty good stats. One of them had 2 perfect stats, the other one had 3. And then you just walk around. I kind of skipped I skipped through a lot of this because I realized the video was ending up being a lot longer than I would have liked. So I did it all the way until I had 5 Machops. What I'm doing now is I'm flying to Kailud City, or whatever it's called. It's a city that you can access once you've beaten the Elite Four. And I'm going to go to the IV checker and have the IVs of the new Machops checked to see which ones are the best. So he'll tell you what the best stats are. This one had attack and defense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the attack and defense, as you can see. The first one is HP. So HP is not set. Attack and defense are both set. And I basically do it for every one of these Pokemon. This one has speed. Anyway, so that's basically how I do it. I go, instead of renaming the Pokemon or something like that, I just go through it and I set those shapes. It's a lot easier than renaming any of the Pokemon. Anyway, I checked all of those. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take back my 2 Machops and hopefully put something better. Okay, so I took back my 2 Machops, but really I only have 1 Machop that was really worth keeping. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove some of those items. For some reason I equipped one of my Machops with a Macho brace, which does absolutely nothing. I was thinking it was a power brace. Power braces actually let you like choose an IV depending on whatever stat it affects and keep that IV. So if you have like a power brace that affects attack, then it would keep the attack. But it didn't work out in this case because it was a Macho brace, so I don't know what I was thinking there. Anyway, I'm going to leave 2 new Pokemon with this lady here. I'm going to leave her my Machop, or Machop, whatever you call it. And I'm also going to leave the other Machoke. Unfortunately, because Machoke and Machop are 2 different Pokemon, and they're both mine, they both have my trainer ID, it makes the odds of breeding a lot slimmer. So I only got 1 egg out of it. It took me a really long time to get it to. There's certain factors that will affect how good your chances are of actually getting an egg. If you have 2 Pokemons with different IDs from different trainers, the odds go up dramatically. If you have 2 Pokemon of the same species, the odds are better. If they're of different species, the odds go down. So there's a lot of little factors there that can affect it. But anyway, it looks like I managed to breed at least 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Machoke out of there and give them a, or actually I'm taking both back. I usually always take both back so I can get an idea of what's going on with my stats and what items they're holding, so I can compare. So right now I'm just comparing them. They all seem to have pretty good HP and attack, and for some reason special defense. But with a Machop, you really want to be focusing on like attack and speed and stuff like that. Like the one thing you really don't need is special attack. So anyway, I'm gonna give him the Destiny Knot, which makes it so that instead of passing on 3 IVs from the parents, you're passing on 5. I also gave the other one. Actually, I didn't give the other one anything because I would normally give it an Everstone, but in this case, I didn't have a Machop with the proper nature, so I kind of had to go back later on. You'll see that, but right now what I'm doing is I'm just breeding more Machops. So that's what I did right there. I kind of skipped through it, but I bred more Machops, and I'm heading back to Kailud City. So you basically just walk around back and forth through that city until you get eggs and they hatch. It's pretty simple. It doesn't even take that long, really, but I had to cut through it because of the video length, obviously. Okay, so right now I'm just checking the IVs again for my new Machops. Now, as you can see, you don't always get lucky. Like, you'll get maybe like 1, 2. Sometimes you'll get like almost no perfect IVs. Sometimes you'll get way more. Depends on how good the parents are too. Like, if you're breeding like near perfect Pokemon, you're gonna get more. In this case, I obviously got 3, but I don't think I'm gonna show it all. I'm probably gonna skip through most of this. Right now I'm just sorting through my Pokemon or whatever. I did more than 5 this round, I think. Sometimes I'll do almost a full box worth of breeding. Like I'll breed like a full box worth of Machop. But right now what I decided to do was, because I didn't have a Pokemon with the right nature to use the Everstone and everything, I realized I was gonna have to go back and actually capture one. So I used a Ralts with with Adamant Nature, and I went back to the Friend Safari to capture a Machoke with Adamant Nature. So that's what I did. I captured a Machoke with Adamant Nature, put Ralts as my first Pokemon to increase, because what Ralts does is it gives you a 50% chance of finding a Pokemon with whatever nature it has. If you watch my Ralts video, you'll see that. And so what I did was I went out and caught a bunch of Machoke until I found one with an Adamant Nature. It didn't take long. Also, if you are going to be catching Pokemon like this, I recommend using an attack like False Swipe. Like right here, I use False Swipe. Look at that. Brings it right down to 1 HP. Super easy to capture after that. And I use a Repeat Ball because it's actually better than even using an Ultra Ball in this case, because I've caught so many Machoke before. It gives you, I think Ultra Ball gives you a 2-time possibility of catching a Pokemon. Repeat Ball, if it's a Pokemon you've caught before, it gives you 3 times. So it's even better than that. Alright, so skip ahead to the point where I actually give a Machoke a Everstone. Here, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to decide to actually breed 2 Machokes, because I realize how long it takes to breed a Machop and a Machoke together. It's really a bad mixture, because not only am I'm the original trainer, plus they're different species. Like it just decreases the odds dramatically. So what I did was I decided I was just going to breed like a few Machops with my 2 Machokes, so that I could actually have a Machop with the proper nature. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to breed those Machops afterwards. So right now what I'm doing is I'm leaving my 2 Machokes. One of them has an Everstone, one of them has a Destiny Knot. Neither of them really have that great of stats though, so the Destiny Knot is kind of optional, but I decided I would do it anyway in hopes that I would be able to preserve some of those better stats, or maybe get like 2 or 3 perfect IVs, because this can take a while if you don't transfer those IVs over, right? You don't want to like be breeding with worse Pokemon. You want to be going up, not down. So anyway, what I did was I bred a bunch of Machops, as you can see, and I'm gonna go check those. So I'm flying all the way back to Kailud City. There's a lot of repetition when you're doing this, and especially if you're really hell-bent on getting like those perfect Pokemon, you're going to want to keep going at it. You're going to want to, perfect it. But inevitably it is going to happen if you use the right items and you use a good strategy for this. And if you just follow what I'm telling you right now, it won't be too hard. You just always check the IVs, and you try and put Pokemon together that are going to have like different IVs. Like if you put 2 Pokemon with the exact same perfect IVs together, you're never gonna get that chance of getting like that missing stat perfect, because like unless you just get lucky with a perfect IV randomly, it's not gonna happen. You're probably gonna be passing on the bad IVs. So what I try and do is I kind of try and mix it up, put as many good IVs as I can, but at the same time try and make sure that both Pokemon have different ones. Like unless I really like want like a certain one to be perfect, I usually won't really put 2 of the same together, unless they're like both really really good and they have like 4 or 5 really good ones, and there's only like a few that are off, and it's not the end of the world. But anyway, I had some pretty good Machops there. I had one with if you looked, you probably saw I had one with 4 perfect IVs. So I'm getting there. I got 4 perfect IVs so far. I'm going to check the rest of these. I bred a lot more, I think. And look, if you look at the IV checker, you saw that he was actually telling me that guy had that my Machops had like 3 or more, basically. Like, look, I got another one with 4 right there. That one had 5, I think. So I've got some good Machops now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave them again, see if I can improve that even more, because a Machop without perfect HP is kind of pointless to me. Like that, I think that one had everything perfect except for HP. But really, like, do I really need special attack that much? No, I don't. What I need more than special attack is HP. I'd rather have everything else perfect than special attack, not HP. I really don't need to be missing out on my HP. So what I did was I bred some more. As you can see, I skipped to the part where they hatch, obviously, so just to save you guys that time. So we're headed over back to Kylud City. We're going to check these out now. So I'm talking to the IV checker. We're going to check all these. And if you look at the list, sometimes, like, I know Machop only has a 25% chance of giving you females, but I did get pretty lucky with these. Like, I have almost a full party of female Machops here. So it's like, I know a lot of people make a big deal out of it, but really it's not the end of the world if you're breeding a Pokemon with a low chance of giving a female, unless you're breeding with like Ditto or something where it's gonna take you forever because they're not the same species and they're the same trainer and stuff like that. But anyway, I think this is near my last round here. I'm gonna give in the five perfect IV Machop with the one that has HP, attack, special defense, and speed. So you combine that with the one that had everything except for HP, and there's a good chance that I'm going to pass on the special attack, or not the special attack. I'm going to pass on the HP from the one that has HP, attack, special defense, and speed, which is what I want, to the one that has 5 perfect stats. So I could potentially get a 6 IV perfect Machop here. So anyway, what I did was I headed down to Kylud City because I did another round. And I got really lucky this round. I actually got 2 Machops with everything perfect except for special attack, which is what I had hoped for. So I decided at this point I was pretty much done. But what I wanted to do was compare the two. So I got into a multiplayer battle with my friend here to get my Pokemon up to level 50. And I compared their stats. And I saw that my first Machop, which has perfect everything except for special attack, has 48 special attack. And the second one only has 44. Now, a perfect special attack Machop, if you look at the other ones here, would have a special attack of 49. So 48 is pretty impressive. Like, that first Machop is really incredible. I actually calculated its IVs, and that special attack stat is somewhere between 28 and 29. So it has everything perfect and a special attack of 28 or 29. So this is a near perfect Machop. I think this was a really good breeding round, and I was pretty happy with the results. So that's something else you can do. You can get into a multiplayer battle to check the IVs if you don't have an IV checker or anything like that, if you can't get to Kylud City.